Create your love song to the Lord. He knows your heart and loves to listen to you. For the past few years, composer, arranger, and music educator Dr. Michelle Margiotta has been orchestrating and arranging major pieces centered on biblical excerpts with Emmy and Tony Award-winning singer, songwriter, and producer Kathy Lee Gifford. Along with composing with Kathy Lee, she also writes and travels with Dove and Grammy nominee Kathy Tricoli as her full-time pianist and guitarist. Today, she is bringing light to the world with her music. This is her story. This is today's Nashville. This is Faith. Michelle, it is so good to see you again. I have so much fun when we're together.
Same here, Terry. This has been a new friendship evolving, and it's been so great to get to know you.
I met you through Kathy Tricoli, and then
Yes.
we had you do our women's event, and I tell you, our women were just blown away by
Yes.
the worship, the songs, the fun.
Yes, we had a lot of fun.
You did.
So Tricoli is Italian, Margiotta is Italian, and our whole joke every time we would go to conferences would be, accept Jesus or we'll break your face.
I know.
But that was a little too harsh, too Italian, New York. So
But you are from New York.
I am.
So let's let's tell me about
Born and raised in Long Island, and it's a huge Italian family. I was the only one that left and came to Nashville. So
it. How many siblings?
I have 3 siblings, and I have 11 nieces and nephews.
Where are you in the rank?
It's my older sister, me, my younger sister, and my younger brother. So it's the 4 of us, but we are a force to be reckoned with. You know, everybody says they think we're angry, but we're just loud. We're just a loud family. But beautiful Italian family. Really just grew up in the church, grew up with in a Christian home, and I love and miss them. I get to go home as much as I try to get to go home as much as I can. So, yeah.
So you are the only one that left, so they're still there.
They're all there. They're within 2 miles of each other, and I'm 700 miles away.
Oh, that must be tough.
Yeah, it is. It is, because I just, when you feel called, God equips you, and God has brought me here, but I know that they have, I have their support, so I go home as much as I can. So.
Well, God is definitely using you in a powerful way. I mean, just with all your music and arranging and being with some of the people that you're, composing with.
Yes.
And but let's talk about your faith before we get into all that. Mm-hmm. You grew up in a Christian home.
I grew up in a Christian home, and I felt the presence of the Lord at a young age, and I just knew God was real. So I remember going to church, and just the music and the worship would just get to me. And my mom wanted me to take piano lessons, but I was like, I don't want anything to do with music. It was boring. I remember I used to laugh because my piano teacher, he was so old, he'd fall asleep in my lessons, and it was torturous. But anyway, I didn't realize I had an ear for music, but worship, I really connected with worship. So I would come home and I would just start to pluck out the melodies and realize that I developed a heart for worship. So that's kind of where it all started, is just.
How old were you?
Church. I was 7. I was 7 years old and wanted to play. I started playing guitar and piano, and by the age of 12, I was leading worship in my youth group. So it was amazing, because I would go, instead of going out on Friday nights in my teenage years, I would just want to be in my room just writing and worshiping. So it wasn't until the time, I would say in my 20s, where I struggled with my faith, because I just, growing up in a Christian home, when it was easy to just, you were surrounded in this environment, but when you start to hit real life's problems, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, why do I believe what I believe? And why are there so many denominations? So, just searching for truth was really a crossroad for me in my 20s.
Did you struggle any during your teen years or growing up?
Not in my
area?
teenage years, ironically, because usually adolescence is the easy, that environment for that. But it was in my college years, in my 20s.
No, where'd you go to school?
I went to Lee University. So, and growing up non-denominational and coming to a Church of God school, it was like, and being in Tennessee, it was culture shock. So, but it was incredible because the Lord really revealed himself through just mentors and professors, and I searched for the truth and found it.
What time in your life, though, that you remember that you just thought, I don't know about this?
I was involved with, I had, friendships that, trying to find my way, friendships that just came and went, and, people come along and you get hurt. And I remember I was in dating a lot, and I remember being in a long-term relationship that I thought, I was going to marry this person, and all of a sudden, when it ended, I just went into this deep depression.
Did you end it, or did you just know, or did God tell you?
God kind of told me, and I didn't want to end it, and I just thought, there's just no other way. I need to end this. And I remember getting into this deep depression, and I realized that, people and relationships can easily be just our identity of like what we're living for. And the Lord really challenged me. I remember being in probably my darkest moment and going, Lord, please take me. I mean, I wasn't suicidal, but I struggled with my faith, and I struggled with my purpose. It really got to me that deep. And I remember not hearing an audible voice, but hearing God say, if you're willing to give it up, why not try it my way? Why don't you give it up my way? And I remember when my spirit and my heart said yes, that was when everything changed. And I felt like my life I started living. And
how old were you?
Honestly, it was in my 30s. I was 33. I remember just turning 33, and my life when I said yes in my spirit. So it was like growing up in a Christian home, struggling with my faith in my 20s, and then in my 30s, just kind of coming to this end, this dead end, the end of me. I remember finally going, okay, Lord, how do you want me to do this? And my life has changed ever since.
And we're going to talk about how your life has changed
Yes.
drastically
Yes.
when we come back.
It's been so amazing.